Welcome, everyone, to the Is This Love podcast, the podcast where we talk about the weird and wonderful world of love and relationships. That's right. All that weird, gushy stuff that you don't want to hear about, we talk about on a weekly basis. And who are we? We are two people from totally different worlds. I, from Canada. Francis, a.k.a. the other guy, I'm not from Canada.
I was going to say... I did not know you were from Canada.
And Sarah from Ireland. Not really Ireland, but it's green.
I like it.
Oh, really? Okay, there you go. There you go. Sarah, Nade, and myself, Francis, a.k.a. the other guy. We are your guides. We're the ones rowing the boat through this whole thing called relationships. And, it's kind of funny is something we never really touch on is friendships, which is also a type of relationship. Even though I know we talk about love and relationships, but friendship I think is very important, right? Like, we have a friendship, I think.
Yes.
You didn't react, so I'm like, I don't know. We have a friendship.
Correct.
And some people have a hard time even making friends. I think one of these days, not today, because we have a show that we're already planning on doing. But like, we both are kind of weird with friends because we don't have a lot. Like our friend groups aren't huge, but we have them though.
Yeah,
like, we made friends somehow. Like
somehow,
yeah. Despite the odds. You and I somehow made our friend groups, like, for some weird, strange, out of this world reason. And so, one of these days, you should really talk about that. But first, I really want to talk about one thing and one thing only, because I'm finally understanding something, and I want to know if you understand it as well. I forget your relationship with this just because I'm just really bad at remembering it.
Okay.
What is your relationship with TikTok?
Oh, man, almost nothing. I mean, every once in a while, like, someone will send me something and it'll make me laugh, and I'll look up some more of that person's stuff, and maybe a couple more will make me laugh, and then I forget TikTok for another 6 months. I think I'm the same. I'm kind of the same way. I think my favorite one is the guy who, I don't remember what his channel is called, but he always says in all his videos, he's making inventions, like crazy inventions, and he always says, oh God, what does he say? Very easy to use, and the design is very human. And I feel so bad that I can't, like, give him proper credits right now, because anyone who's seen his stuff will know exactly who I'm talking about. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't, actually. I wish I did. I just kind of started it, so I haven't really dived too deep. But, okay.
Well, look that up, because he is so funny, and I'm really sorry to him that I can't remember his name.
It's designed so easy, and what was it?
So it's very easy to use, and the design is very human. He says those two things in like every video.
And that's like his catchphrase. Okay, is it
like one of them is in the middle? Is it what?
Is it an Asian dude?
Yes.
Okay. So, according to this, his name is Don Don.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just Don Don. The design is very... Because I just looked up the design is very human. TikTok compilation. And it's just him with really... like... What looks like a toaster that wraps around his head.
You know, he does like really weird, like robotic... I'm just like laughing because I can't believe that the name doesn't ring a bell at all, and it should, because I watch so many of his videos, and I'm sorry, Don Don, like, I should be paying attention to your name and not just the content. But it is so funny. So
here's his TikTok. Because it might not be Don Don. It just says that on here. But no, it isn't. It's HMG ... 4. So that's what it says here. No bio. 1.7 million followers, 55 million likes. He has like, oh my God. He has like a middle finger that like sprays your butt in the toilet. Like, that's weird.
You really do have to take some time and just like watch all of his videos. They're so funny.
The guy that does he puts his hands out and like someone will do something really elaborate and then this guy will like just do it super simply, like really easily and just like go, it's just like, and he never says anything ever.
Yeah.
He just puts his hands out like, this is how it's done.
Like the gesture is like, it was really that easy, kind of. Yeah, I totally know who you're talking about. He's very funny.
He is. He's hilarious. I mean, like the guy was a nobody and like $0 to his name, and now he's like a millionaire. It's amazing.
Wow.
Thanks to TikTok. But anyway, I get it now. I just wanted to put it out there. I get it now. I'm probably not going to dive deep into it as like a lot of other people do, like spend hours just kind of scrolling through TikTok and watching videos. But, right before the show, while I was waiting for your email, which, anyway, I was watching, I get like this weird, I guess because I logged in once, I get like now a compilation of things you should watch. Like, hey, here's a bunch of TikTok videos you should watch. And I'm like, all right. And I watch one and, start scrolling through. And I get it now. I get it. This is television now. This is what's considered entertainment. And I understand.
Well, I think that if you open it and start watching it, you get kind of sucked into it.
Yeah. It's easy.
I think, it's really easy to get sucked into it. For me personally, it doesn't have like the bring me back factor. I know it's not the same for many, many people just are on it all the time. But for me, that's one of the apps or whatever you want to call it that like, cause I'm also thinking YouTube. I actually do watch YouTube, several things on YouTube, and I go back to YouTube over and over again, but I forget about TikTok for like months at a time.
Well, I think the thing with YouTube versus TikTok is mostly all original content in the sense of like somebody's creating it, while YouTube has a lot of stuff from like TV shows and like movies and stuff.
Oh, that's true.
So it has a little bit more mainstream stuff, and it's not all user generated and created stuff. But like, man, this guy, I just scrolled down and he has this thing where he's like, oh, a lot of food is too big to eat. Well, I've invented something to make your mouth wider so you can eat wider food. And I'm like, oh, God.
Oh, my God. Like, one of my favorite ones is this. He's like, many animals have 4 feet. Humans only have 2 feet. Very unfair. His invention is to, like, give you 2 back feet.
Oh, wow. I'll give you the centaur look. Okay. Oh, my goodness. I love that you're giggling over this because I'm like, I obviously have missed out on a lot of these videos, but I love that you find this like, because this guy's really like it looks like he lives it just based off of like the inside of his home and stuff. It looks like he's living in not squalor or anything, but he's not like wealthy or anything. He looks like he lives kind of like in a very plain and simple home. Like his bed is really simple. It's like a cot. Right, his bathroom, like the walls have nothing distinct about them. Very, very simple, very, very empty. And I don't know if it's just like he's recording it from like a warehouse or something that he can mess up the toilets and all that stuff, and he can do all these things. But if it's his home, it's very nondescript.
Well, he does have things go a little bit crazy a lot of the time, so maybe he doesn't have it around his real furniture and decorations. I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't have that much stuff, right. But he does have stuff make a mess or like jump all over the place. So,
well, there you have it. HMG. I don't have any recommendations for TikTok, even though the one I guess I would recommend is Steve Irwin's son has a TikTok.
Oh yeah, I think I saw a little bit of someone posted it on like Reddit. I think he seems like a sweet new generation of animal whisperer.
Yeah, but the dude I love his accent. I love listening to this dude talk. Like, I just love the Australian accent, and he is like ASMR to me. Like, the dude has a really good sound to his voice. And he just, like, because he recently he was apparently he was driving home or something. He almost ran over a lizard, and he's like, I have to help this lizard, and look what it's doing. And he's like explaining this tiny lizard in his hand that's trying to bite him, right? But he's not letting it. Well, because it's just like trying to protect itself, because he thinks the lizard thinks he's a predator.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I wouldn't pick up a bitey lizard.
Well, but it never bit him. It tried to once, but he's like, oh no, I know. He's treating it very, gingerly.
Yeah.
And
he seems very kind.
Yeah. I watch this American this and this is the last thing we're gonna talk about. We're getting to the show, guys. I just again we're like a little banter at the beginning, some bants at the beginning, but he did the Australian Today show. So Australia has this Today show that's pretty funny for the most part. It was way funnier back in the day, but it's still funny now. And they had a segment where this, I guess, American girl was trying to ask Steve Irwin's, I wish he knew his name, but yeah, like trying to ask him out on a date or something, because she thought he was so cute and so this, so that and everything. And so somehow it got viral on TikTok or YouTube or whatever. And so the morning show calls in to have her say it to this guy over the phone, like over video or whatever.
Oh, wow.
And the dude was like, even though obviously he wasn't going to say yes or anything, but he was like he was just so nice and so like cool about it. I was like, I wish all dudes his age, like he's like early 20s or whatever, were like this guy, because he's just so nice and so polite and just so like, people need to be like this dude. Like he seems like such a good, legit dude. So
yeah,
and I think the daughter too is pretty like cool and legit. I remember her name because she has the weird name Bindi, but
oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, I'm done. Anyway. TikTok. Who knew it was actually fun to listen to or watch? But it's also fun to listen to and watch is us talk about love and relationships. And we have a question from the world of the world that has
from the world of the world,
the world of the world that has us answering. So what do we got here today?
Okay. How do you learn to love yourself in a way that makes you more attractive, less needy, and feel secure in relationships?
Go ahead, Sarah. How?
Oh.
Give us a secret.
Well, of course, if it was an easy or straightforward answer, everybody would be in much better shape. Everybody wants to know how to love themselves better, I think. Yeah. I think different people, I think that there's like multiple facets to an approach, but some people maybe focus more on some aspects than others. Like some people really focus on their like themselves as like their body, like trying to feel the best they can, maybe eating really nutritiously and exercising a lot, and also maybe buying really nice clothes and just making themselves look good and feel good. And that gives them a sense of self-love. I think whatever you can do to feel really secure and whole in yourself is the ultimate goal, and to feel like you have everything you need inside of you, and you're going to find wonderful people and things in your life. So you don't have to stay with something that isn't good for you, because there's good things out there that you can replace anything that's not working for with. And just being secure that, and like I said, for some people, like trying to be really attractive and feel really physically good might be their way of feeling really secure that way. But I think going like spiritually or mentally that direction, there's ways to do it that way also, where you maybe meditate a lot or talk to a therapist. There's just a lot of different ways to go about it. I think it's just learning what works best for you and then practicing and doing, something every day.
So I often hear that self-confidence, for instance, which I guess is similar, right? Loving yourself comes from kind of a self-respect or a self-confidence or kind of a self-esteem, right? Mm-hmm. When you like yourself, you inevitably love yourself.
Right.
Like, for instance, I'm not sure. of whether or not I love myself, really. This is something I've struggled all my life. Way back when, I was told by a therapist, so I didn't make this up, that I had like depression and all this stuff. So it's not something that was just in my head. They diagnosed me that way. And it's tough to think like positively about anything sometimes. And for many years, I often woke up in the morning and said to myself, God, I hate you.
Oh.
I hate you so much.
Oh my gosh.
I don't say so much anymore, but I did it for many years. Oftentimes right before I went to bed, and oftentimes right when I wake up, because I hated my life. I hated everything about it. And I hated me because, I allowed it to happen that way, and I just hated it. So people often say, well, wait a minute. Why were you so negative about yourself? What was it? It's like, well, I guess I could blame depression, but other people may not have depression, and they don't have, or may not have those kind of mental struggles, and are just not feeling like they could like themselves because they feel like, well, wait a minute. Nobody else loves me. Why should I love me? Right? Like it's kind of like a give and take, right? Like, oh, if this person is positive towards me and says positive things, okay, well, that reinforces that I'm a positive and good person. But if nobody does that, how can I convince myself that I am that way when nobody else is saying it around me? And that's a really tough situation.
That's true.
And oftentimes, kind of the advice I've heard that doesn't necessarily, I don't know if it works because I didn't do it myself, but a friend of mine did, is you fake it until you make it. In other words, you pretend you like yourself. We all have an imagination. We all have, I hope we do at least. And the concept behind that is that at some point, one or two things are going to happen when you kind of fake it. One potential path is that you fake it so often that you start believing it, and your self-esteem goes up because you're like, I've been saying to myself, I'm the best or whatever. Maybe not that big. You don't boast yourself that high, but you're like, I'm good at stuff, or like I'm worth it, right? And it's like after a while, when you say it often enough, it becomes a habit, and you start believing it. You just kind of start believing the inverted commas, quote unquote, lie, right? Because essentially you're lying to yourself in essence, but then it becomes the truth because you start believing it yourself. And then you kind of reflect that by doing things that reflect that within yourself, right? Oh, I have this self-esteem now. And it kind of shows on the outside, right?
Yeah.
And that's one potential thing that can happen. But the second potential thing that can happen is you do it often enough, you fake it in front of enough people, and they start acknowledging it, and they start feeding it and start telling you, what, you're pretty cool. Oh, you know what, you're a lot of this, that, and the other thing. And your self-esteem bolsters, and then in your own head, you've kind of said, yeah, of course it's true because other people are feeding this because I faked it for so long. And I think that's one potential. I mean, Sarah's way is probably more, well, obviously it has a lot more practical way of doing it because you have a set goal, whether physical, mentally, you have a set goal, whether it be through therapy or through maybe even like mental exercises. But sometimes you can convince yourself.
I think that might need to be the first step for a lot of people. Like kind of what another word for that some people use is affirmations. So
affirmations, yeah, positive, yeah.
Right. You look in the mirror and you say things and you maybe don't believe them. So you maybe need to make a list. Like, I am really amazing. People love hanging out with me. I'm really caring. I'm fun. I'm very smart. I'm attractive. Whatever you need to believe, and maybe things other people have said about you that are just hard for you to believe. And yeah, like you said, you are kind of faking it at the beginning, but eventually you'll start to feel more like it. And if you don't have the motivation to maybe start doing self-help or therapy, or to start just trying to live have a healthier overall health, I
lifestyle.
guess. Yeah, healthier lifestyle. Like exercise is so good for mental health. It doesn't have to, to be like, lifting 100 pounds all the time, like just any kind of consistent
Walking.
Yeah,
Walking helps.
exactly. Yeah. Like anything is just really, really much better for your mental health than not, but it can be hard to get that motivation or to feel like you're worth it. So I think you're right, like starting with the affirmations or faking it until you convince yourself to start doing things and like going out more and people noticing that you feel better. I think it's all like a big snowball effect, but yeah, maybe the hardest part is starting a snowball. So you just need to pretend you have a snowball. And that's the first step.
Yeah, exactly. Because we can't make anyone do stuff. We can't make anyone tell us we're wonderful. We can't make anyone do anything. What we can do is, again, change the way we think about things and change the way we approach life. Mm-hmm. That is the one power we have. Like, that's immediate and that we know will work 100% of the time, right? Because we have that power of ourselves. But we're not going to be able to be like, hey, you over there, attractive lady, tell me I'm sexy. I mean, they're not going to do it. I mean, they might just to be like, you're sexy, but they're not going to mean it, right? They're like, get away from me, you're sexy. Just leave me alone. So, yeah.
Whatever you say, you're sexy.
Yeah. It's how I date, I'm sexy. Anyway. No, but like that's the kind of the thing, right? Like you need to. You can't do that. You need to be able to just kind of within yourself, like Sarah says, every morning, write it down on a list if you need to, put it up on a mirror, right? Say it to yourself. Look at yourself. Say the things that you have on that list. I am this. I am this. I am this. And be realistic, okay? Don't be like, don't be like, I have a 16-inch penis. Well, no, you don't. Okay? And first off, why would you want it that long anyway? How can you possibly walk? You would be dragging that thing everywhere. That's gross. But things that are realistic is like, I am confident. I am like those things that are more realistic. Yeah. Don't say I have size double G breasts. I mean, it's
also hard to walk around that way, probably.
Also hard to. I don't know why I'm picking the things that are really difficult to do.
Hard on the back, I would imagine.
Oh yeah. I mean, but yeah. Well, anyway, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know.
You can't even. Can your arms wrap around the front of your chest if they were that big? I don't even think so.
Well, hopefully you don't have to do a whole lot that way. I don't know. I think a lot of women, if it's causing them any kind of, pain or anything. Fortunately, you can get surgery to reduce the size of just about anything. So that's good. Yeah. Even a 16-inch long penis. I'm sure all of his friends would be like, oh, but, why? You have a miracle from God. Yeah. That guy's probably like, not as great as it sounds.
I mean, sure, I can have sex from another room, but I have to be outside the stall when I pee. It's like the worst. So...
Oh my God.
And if the woman had, double G, whatever breasts, I mean, all the men she killed from just suffocation, from just those large memories on their face.
She could be femme fatale.
She could be How'd he die? Mammary asphyxiation. Oh no.
Oh my gosh, what is that from Futurama? What did he say? I never thought I'd die this way, but I always really hoped.
Yeah. I guess if there's any way to die, that'd be the best way. But yes, will that make you more attractive? Well, it may cause you to work harder on your appearance, maybe look for a nicer haircut, maybe if you're very facial hairy, you may be clean shaven or something. It may cause you to work out, like Sarah was saying, have a healthy lifestyle. That could all lead to being more attractive, sure. We can't. That's something that's weird because you can't force attractiveness. Attractive is attractive, right? Like you're going to be attractive to somebody at some point, depending on how much effort you put into it. less needy, that's on you. Being less needy is on you.
It is. I do think that the security allows you to feel less needy. I think that neediness does come from this feeling like, if I don't have this, I will be nothing. You know, I'll lose.
Yeah.
My life will collapse if I can't hang on to this job or this person or this thing that's maybe not that great for me, but I'm not good enough on my own, and I can't find like good things without this thing. I need it. There's nothing else good like it. I'll never be able to find it. I'm not worthy, and I just won't be able to. So I think it would help with neediness, but I also hear what you're saying, that like it is up to us to work on that. It's all part of it. It is on you a bit, but this is one avenue to work on it for sure.
Sure. So hopefully, with all this advice and suggestions, it'll help you get to feeling more secure, and those problems can essentially domino effect and go away, because you'll have that motivation, you'll have that drive to be better, do better, look better, things like that. So it should hopefully all kind of fall into place. Usually when you have more self-confidence and more self-respect, you don't get lazier. You don't get like, it usually doesn't have an opposite effect. Usually you want to look better, do better, etc. So,
yeah.
But anyway, maybe sometimes though, no matter how well you do, might not be enough sometimes, unfortunately, because we have another question here. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll just talk about it. Yeah, that's the next question.
All right, here we go. My boyfriend said he wants an open relationship. I went on medication for depression a few months ago, and my sex drive has gone way down. He has a high drive and says he doesn't want to pressure me for sex, but he has needs that I won't fulfill anymore. I hate the thought of him with another woman, but is it unfair for me to say no?
Wait, no to what? Sex?
An open relationship.
Oh, open relationship. How did I not follow that? Obviously, I'm still recovering from being sick. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
That's okay. I'll give you the Cliff Notes.
Thanks. You know, I heard everything you said, and I'm like, wait a minute. We even talked about it before the show, and I'm just, never mind. All right. Have you ever had I mean, this is a personal question. I guess I'll ask it anyway. Have you ever had been on anything that killed your sex drive?
I think so. It's hard to tell. Like, I've had various medical things for a lot of my life. It's hard to tell which things have done what exactly. Like,
I get you, lady. I get you.
But I do believe that I have, like, talked to a doctor before and said, you know, would any of these have this kind of effect? Because I noticed, you know, maybe I was with someone at the time who had a much higher drive than me. And they would say, yeah, it's very likely that it would. So probably. And I just, you know, because of that, it was very noticeable because my partner had a very high drive. So the difference made me like want to ask about it.
And you said, you know what you should do? You should have an open relationship.
I did not say that.
Oh,
absolutely. I'm kind of in her place. So absolutely not. Like, at least the way she feels.
Yeah, I think I'm currently in that situation now, having my condition that I have that I'm not going to talk about. You get to guess. Yes, I have a 16-inch penis. I don't know what to do with it. But just put it over my shoulder, walk around. It's great.
Oh, God.
It's not that, I guess it's not that long, but yeah, you know, having a low sex drive with a partner who has a high one is a very difficult thing to navigate. Mm-hmm. I have been very fortunate up until recently to be able to match my partner's sex drive when it came to that stuff. So it has never been an issue. But in this particular case, I can completely understand where, you know, this person's coming from. Like, how do you satisfy your partner in that way while also kind of like maintain their relationship? Now, for some people, if the boyfriend recommends an open relationship, that's a deal breaker. Mm-hmm. So it seems like just because you feel guilty for not having a sex drive, you're open, I guess, because you didn't say no. You're kind of open to the idea potentially because you can give him what he wants. Mm. which I guess automatically makes them incompatible. But I also wonder why she just doesn't try to look for another medication that would not hinder her sex drive as much, right? Like, because there's not just one medication for depression, right? There's a bunch of them, and they all do something different and at different rates. You know, maybe you can find a cocktail that works to where you can still have somewhat any type of libido. But I don't know. Like, was yours gone completely when you were on that medication, or was it just kind of just lowered and a little bit more muted?
It wasn't gone completely. And we might have, even if I wasn't on it, we might have had different drives anyways. For me, this is a tricky one because it's a lot of people have relationships where their drives aren't the same. And unfortunately, it sometimes means incompatibility. Sometimes, not always.
Sometimes, yeah.
But I think as far as the open relationship goes, don't ever do an open relationship or polyamorous relationship unless both partners are an enthusiastic yes.
Yeah.
It should never be because
that's a compromise. Yeah.
And it's one that's going to make one or both of you feel really bad, insecure, resentful, and it's just not going to be good.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be her in that respect because I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, but then she's going to probably project that somehow. Then he's going to start feeling weird, and it's definitely going to probably start with her. And then it just, but it's understandable if you want a monogamous relationship, it's okay to stick with that, and you should, unless you are very enthusiastically willing to try something else, and so is your partner. So that one isn't, for me, whatever the answer is to this, the answer is not for her to just go along with an open relationship because he isn't getting what he needs. Either they're just not compatible, or like you said, she can maybe look into different medication, or maybe talk to, I don't know, maybe even like a sex therapist or something, or try different things if she wants to try to either raise her drive or find ways to enjoy sex more. But like creating a situation where she's like having him sleep with other people and it makes her really unhappy is just not the way to go, I don't think.
Yeah, because she hates the idea. It's not something she wants to do. But at the same time, she feels like she's not. It's kind of weird. This is going to sound terrible, but it's like she doesn't feel like she's holding up her end of the deal, I guess, in their relationship, right? Like she's not providing something that I think was there at the beginning, and now after taking this medication, it's like, well, now I can't give him what he wants. My recommendation is, see, it's tough. I think that I think that jumping to open relationship was, I don't know how much those guys have talked, right? I don't know how far they've discussed this to get to this point, right? Like, have they discussed like, well, maybe we can't have sex, but, I'll try to do these other things or provide these other services to keep it clean, right, for you. So that, that you have this sexual satisfaction. But at the same time, it's like, if that discussion never happened and she's like, I don't have any sex drive. Well, right? Like his first thought was like, well, there's this thing called open relationships. I could totally just get another girl to, do that stuff. And then we'll just be happy together as like a couple. And it's like, no, that's not. Like you said, Sarah, if it's not enthusiastically approved by both parties, it's like that's a no-go. So I think ultimately, and I think we're both kind of coming to this conclusion, is that, well, obviously this relationship will not, unless, again, you can find that common ground and that level playing field of like, okay, I changed medications, we can do this again, but never ever talk about open relationships ever again, right? And he's like, oh, sorry, okay, I know it's just an idea, I'm horny, what do you want from me? But whatever.
Yeah.
We're all idiots. Dudes are all idiots in that respect. When it comes to sex, we're just morons because we're just like, I just want to get rid of her. But that can potentially salvage the relationship anyway if they're compatible everywhere else. It just happens to be this one thing that she can't sensibly provide, but can through the appropriate medication cocktail. then at least try that. Otherwise, I think you and I are coming to that conclusion that the relationship is kind of DOA, and they should probably try to find people more their speed as opposed to trying to work it out with an open relationship.
Yeah, I mean, it just sometimes the sex drive thing, that is a reason to end a relationship. It's very sad if everything else is great, but people have needs, and the person who wants sex the least is the one who's going to set the pace. So if your needs aren't being met because you want it more, it's just if you can live with that or not. And yeah, like you said, there's things to explore if you want to try to match his drive, or if you want to try to find other ways to enjoy sex that you hadn't thought of or haven't tried.
Yeah.
But I think you were kind of mentioning this, even the fact that he brought up an open relationship sometimes for some people, and I've heard even like the other way, like the woman suggests to her boyfriend that they do an open relationship, and just the fact that it was put out there is sometimes the kiss of death eventually.
Right. Yeah, that was my first thing. It was like, usually that for a lot of people, that's a deal breaker immediately. Like, oh, that should not have been that should not have been in the conversation at all. Other solutions should have been way before this. And again, I don't know if this is like the final kind of idea, the last idea that they came up with. Like, they did tried everything else. We don't know. We don't know their full history. But especially if they've talked and they're like, yeah, no, we're in a monogamous relationship. I don't want to share you with all these other people. No, this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, then, that's an issue in itself, because he's not thinking about you, and he's more just thinking about sex.
It's a tough one, because you're like, you're suggesting something that is, the suggestion itself is can be very hurtful.
Yeah.
And a better way to go about that would just be to express your needs and what you're not getting, and then be like, how can we deal with this?
Oh, yeah, I agree 100%. Hopefully this isn't like, hopefully this is like a relationship for like, it's been around for like a few years and whatever, and this is kind of what's happening. Because then the breakup is makes a little more sense. But if they've been together for 20 years and stuff, it's just like, I mean, it's going to be a lot tougher and a lot more complicated.
Yeah.
We don't know the relationship history, so we have to kind of assume that, you're going to have to do what you need to do. But, yeah, I think the and it wasn't even a suggestion. The way you wrote it, the way it was written is the boyfriend wants.
Right.
Wants. It wasn't like, well, we could try it. Let's see if that. It wasn't like a, well, maybe. Like, you know what? I know exactly what I want right now. You know
what I'd love to do right now?
You want one for Christmas? A PlayStation 5 and an open relationship. Can I have them, please? Like,
just slip it in the wish list and you're good.
Yeah. Oh, look. Okay. So, your Christmas list says socks, pair of pants, PlayStation, open relationship. I don't know what the last one be, but that's a big one.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't find that other stuff.
Yeah. That's why it's at the end of the list. It's like, this is the last one. Like, try to get the other stuff first. We can't get any. I'll just take the last one. That's fine.
Oh my God.
As a matter of fact, you can forego all the stuff above that if I could just have that last one. I'm good. All right, that's okay.
Oh my God. That reminds me, like when you say you did something really, really bad. So then you could be like, just kidding, that didn't happen, but this less bad thing did happen. But now you can't be mad at me because I already scared you with the worst thing. Like, I want a new car. What? Okay, well, how about just an open relationship?
Right. It's like, honey, I accidentally set fire to the house, but I also want an open relationship. It's like, well, I guess the lesser of two evils.
Just kidding. The house isn't on fire.
Surprise.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, I don't know if we helped, but we made ourselves a giggle, and that's really the most important thing about this particular episode, isn't it? I'm telling you, we're going to get to catfishing at some point.
I know. We need to. We keep talking about it, but like,
I know,
how it's going to happen someday.
I mean, yeah. I've been very fortunate to have never experienced that.
Me too.
But especially, which is weird, and we're going to move on to the next section. But it's weird because I'm online so much, and I have so much experience with online things and meeting online people. I'm really surprised that one of them wasn't like a 90-year-old dude who pretended they were like a 20-year-old woman and just, hey, well, he's like, well, I've been a little strange.
Oh my God.
I'm like, well,
I love the
little
voice.
Asian boy. Yeah. A little strange, but a little Asian boy. I was really hoping for it. Oh, Grandpa, it's your lucky day.
This is so messed up, but it's so funny. It's okay because you're not a little boy. You're not actually a little boy anymore.
I would have been an adult.
Yes, you would have been an adult by then.
But still, yeah. Compared to a 90-year-old, I'm a little boy.
Oh.
You're so smooth. Anyway, all right. Oh man! All right, I'm sorry.
It's like way too much, like just laughing.
I know. You can when you listen to this episode again, it's like, oh my god, we laughed like 20 minutes. Oh no!
Like 20 minutes, we couldn't catch our breath.
Well, I can't do the. Ideally, I wish I could have done the old man from Family Guy.
Oh, what was that?
Well, the guy that whistles when he talks.
The whistle. God, he was so creepy.
Hello there, Chris.
Yeah. That's really good.
It's tough. It's tough with my voice right now, but boy, oh boy, oh man, if I could do that impression right now, that'd be amazing. All right. Anyway, we're on to the segment where we answer questions from our one of our favorite contributors to the show. He definitely likes to write in every single episode, which we love and adore him for.
Yay!
It's Right Cow Left Coast and his corner. I'm telling you, I'm going to get a jingle for the questions, and I need to do a jingle for the corner.
He does need a jingle. He's very good with the questions.
Yes. So we have quite a few. There's one question that I feel we need to directly address because we don't really source our questions that we do in the question segment of the show. And that's for a very specific reason. So, Sarah, what's the question and what is that answer?
Okay, well, the question is, where are you sourcing these questions? And we actually get them from multiple places because they don't all come in through like the email or the Facebook. They just don't. We do get them sometimes from email and Facebook, but we also sometimes get asked by just people we know. And we also sometimes find interesting questions in like online where people anonymously ask questions about relationships. Where people want to be anonymous, we will remove their name or change it if they want. And sometimes if we find questions where we just find it to be an interesting topic, we will change or remove any specific details so that it's anonymous. But in general, we don't get everything from one or two sources, even though that'd be great because we, give all of our tags and everything at the end of the episode. We love them all to come in one place, but
yeah,
they do just come from a variety of different places.
Yeah, and I'll admit this because I've done this at least once, but like, I'll throw in a question I have in the mix.
Oh, really?
Something I want to know. Yeah, I did that at least once, maybe twice in our previous episodes where I just like, oh yeah, I'm curious about this idea or this thought, in my own head, and I'm like, oh, and I just put it in there. Unless you figure out which one it is, even though I don't remember anymore.
I would have no idea.
Yeah, but I'll just put in there, like, it'll just cross my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, maybe it's relating to my own life or something, or in my past, and I'm like, how would I have handled this differently? What would Sarah's insight be on something that I've experienced in the past? So I've had to do that a few times where I hope I answer the question properly. We try to do our best, but I do find it funny that you need to know, though.
That I didn't know?
Where we're getting questions. No, I just find it funny, like, oh, I mean, it's cool that you wanted to know where we're getting it from. Yeah, it's just all those sorts of places. And you, right, Cal?
Yes.
Right. All right, what else is he asking?
Okay, he says, the base definition that I have used or have been given is that a date is an event with a current or potential romantic partner that involves at minimum food as well as entertainment. How do you define a date and thus know someone is attempting to have a romantic relationship with you? Oh, yeah, I think this is like if someone asks you out, how do you know it's a date, not just a hang?
Here's the answer for you. I don't know. I was in college. First off, a date is like this fruit from a tree. It's kind of delicious. There's actually in Palm Springs, real briefly, in Palm Springs, there's a place where all they do is dates. They have a date farm. Right? And all they do is sell dates. And they sell dates they like do date shakes, which is, I've never had that before. It's a very interesting flavor, very interesting kind of mix of stuff.
Oh, wow.
And it's just weird. So dates, I didn't know I liked dates until I saw this place. I'm like, oh, dates are pretty good. So if you like dates, you know, they're actually apparently a pretty good fruit. Anyway, I was in college. I was in the psychology class. And this girl asked me to go to coffee with her. And I'm like, oh, this is probably for the class. You know, we have a class together. I mean, sure. So I go to the coffee shop. It's just the two of us. Nobody else. Just the two of us having coffee, like hanging out. And I had no idea I was on a date. And she like kept wanting to hang out with me. I'm like, why do you want to keep hanging out with me? Like, I had no idea what was going on at all, because there was food, there was coffee, and the entertainment was us talking to each other and sharing stories and like, getting to know each other. But I had no idea, because we were from the same class, and I'm like, okay, we talked all the time in class, we hang out and stuff. I'm like, why? You know, and then we graduated, and she's like, hang out with me after graduation. And she starts introducing me to her friends. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. Right? But I'm like, you want to go hang out afterwards and like do a thing? And I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I'm tired. You know, or whatever. I forget what the excuse was, but I'm like, I didn't go out with her or anything. And she was real pretty and real smart and everything, but it never dawned on me that she was trying to go out, like trying to take me out on dates and stuff and do stuff with her. Like, it just never dawned on me. Aww. So yes. So how do I know? I don't. I never know. But yeah, that was a pretty sad story.
No.
The only way I did know was, again, also in college, a girl from another class. This was before this girl, like years before this girl happened. A girl just came up to me and said, "Hey, I think I think you're really cute. We should go out." Right? And that was it. I'm like, well, thank you for telling me, because I would never have known if you didn't tell me straight to my face. Well, so, I don't know.
Well,
do you know when you're on dates there, Sarah? You know?
First of all, I want to say, I broke down laughing there in the middle, and I'm sorry if that was a sad dating story. It's just, as you saw, Pete had his tail all over my face.
Oh, yeah. No. Well, yeah, no. Well, I think you muted, because I didn't hear any of your, I don't think I heard the laughter. I think you might have muted.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I saw you're laughing, but I'm like, I didn't. I was all right.
Okay, good. I wasn't mean to like laugh at your pain.
It wasn't pain. No, there was no pain. So it's a laughable moment because I was being stupid, not really.
Oh, we all have those painful, stupid moments in our youth, don't we? I've definitely been embarrassingly misunderstood situations when I was younger. But as far as knowing when it's a date, yeah, that probably happened a lot more when I was younger too, like just not being clear on that.
Okay.
I'm sure that there are like certain scenarios and events where it's like, if this isn't a date, then this is a really weird hangout, like going dinner, dancing, or, and you're like dressed up really nice. Or I don't know, maybe getting on his or her private jet and flying to like Tuscany for a candlelit dinner. Probably a date.
Wait, did that happen to you?
No. I'm just saying, if we're talking about the threshold.
Oh, I was like, damn.
No, yeah, damn. No.
Oh, that's good. Wow, damn.
I have never done that. No. I think that it's pretty impossible to tell without just making it known. Even
that, yeah.
Yeah, even coffee meetups is usually what I would do for first. I wouldn't even call it a date, but like when I was meeting up with someone from online dating, we would do a coffee meetup, and that was certainly with like the intention of something romantic. It wasn't just as friends.
That's called the interview.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know that. So
no. I think that's what I would. I don't know if that's what it's called.
I like it.
That as the interview, yeah.
I like it. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I guess it's not really a date then, but I think probably if it's in the evening and it's just the two of you, and they have asked you to go to dinner or a movie or dancing or putt-putt golf, something where it's just the two of you and you're unlikely to be like grinding on other people, probably a date. But don't ever just assume. You should, try to make it as clear as you can before you make any assumptions. You can always just wait and see, but before you do anything that might, I don't know, hurt their feelings or hurt your own, you could just be clear about it and ask.
Yeah, I think here's the most important thing to define a date. Make sure you use the word date when you ask someone out. Like, then you're done. Then you're done. Then at least, right? Hey, I'd like to take you out on a date. Just say it. Why do we not say things anymore? Why do we not tell people exactly what we're trying to do?
Communicating is hard.
Well, but like, so I went out. Like, I've gone out with girls before whom I pretty sure had all. Well, no, I know for a fact had all the elements of a date. Mm-hmm. Every part of it was a date. But I don't believe that the girl that I was with those times believed it was. I believe she thought she was just hanging out with somebody they knew, right? But friend or whatever.
Oh,
right. Like, I think that's what the concept was, because there was no flirting really from her end, right? Which is fine. I understand, but why go out? I told I didn't say, but that's the thing. I didn't say we're going on a date. I said I'd love to take you out. You want to go watch a movie, have some dinner, go watch a movie. I didn't say date.
Oh.
Which is my own fault. I should have said, I'd love to take you out on a date. Let's go have some dinner and a movie. And then they could have said, oh, no. No. I can't be out till 8. I have other things to do. Laundry. Oh, my cat needs to knock over my bottle of water. Oh, I cannot go. I have to clean the mess.
I have to clean the messes of my life.
Yes. Oh, God. I don't know where I heard this, but I like excuses. I guess common excuses were like, oh, I have to wash my hair. Oh, I have to do laundry.
I can't hang out because I have to wash my hair. Yeah. I mean, okay, well, if you also have to do your hair, that could be like 2 or 3 hours right there. So
that's why it's a good excuse, because dudes are like, oh.
You're like, oh, that sounds complicated. Okay, I'll back off then.
It's like, all right, I guess I'll have to date myself. All right. What do we have here as another question from Right Cow?
Okay. Another question from Right Cow is, what are your favorite or most used emoticons? Why? Can one have an entire romantic communication with a significant other using only emojis? Oh, wait, I think he said emotions, not emoticons.
But I think it's emoticons.
Okay.
Because it goes to emojis. Because I'm like, emotions? My favorite emotion is being happy. But I mean, whatever.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So emojis. I like the smiley with like the closed but happy eyes and like the little blush on the cheeks. That's a good one I use a lot. I also like the hearts are good for just about everything, and you can change the color of heart depending on how serious you are about the person. If it's just a friend, then it's a yellow heart. And then
is that true? Is that a real thing?
It seems to be the case. I don't know if it's an actual well used thing, but I also have friends that we use red hearts with each other, so I don't know.
I have. Well, here's the thing. I don't use hearts. I mean,
aren't living.
Except for no, well, I mean, in the sense of like, yeah, I mean, I just in general, I don't use emojis at all. I guess I should say I don't use hearts. I don't use any emoji. But I would think a heart, no matter what, it is an indication of affection. I guess it's just affection, right? It doesn't have to be like love. It could be just like I like you, or I am affectionate towards you, not in a romantic way, just affectionate.
It can also be like, I love the thing you just sent me. Like you sent a picture of a cute kitten and you send back a heart. Like, oh, I love that. True. So it's not always necessarily I love you, but it's a good one. It's very versatile if you are expressive about how much you love different things.
Sure.
I like the one where he's like, his eyes are squinting and his mouth is like a crack. Like a cracked, like it's zigzag. Like,
oh, okay.
I like that one. I don't really 100% know what it's supposed to mean, but I use it like. Okay, I use it like.
It could mean I'm on heroin, and it's like, well, I'm just going to use it anyway because it looks cute. I don't know. Yeah, that's weird because some of them do have like definitions, right?
They do.
Yeah.
Some of them, if you type something in, a bunch of them will show up. I wish they had, like, each one had a name, but, like, I don't know how to find that out. I also like the one where the eyes are, like, spirals, like, crazy.
So you like a lot of the facial emojis.
Yes, I like the facial expression ones. Yeah, for sure. And upside down smile is a good one. I know we talked about that before.
Yes. That's true.
What about you?
I don't, because I don't use it, it's really hard to say. I guess if I were to pick an emoticon emoji that I use most often, it's on Facebook. And, you have the different types of reactions now. It's not just, so happy the days of the thumbs up are over. And it's now thumbs up, heart, care, surprise, and whatever. And angry. And I use the surprise emoji a lot for, like, everything. If someone says, like shows a picture of a bottle of wine, I'm like, or like, just like surprised, like, oh wow, that's a big bottle of wine. I don't say anything. I'm just like, that's my reaction to more or less everyone on Facebook, right? Like, it doesn't matter what it is. It's like, oh yeah, went to the bathroom today. Like, oh okay, all right. Like,
oh my god.
Right. Well, because everyone uses the same two emojis. They use the like thumbs up or the heart, and that's it. And I'm like, but they just showed you that they went through the car wash in the middle of the day. Like, why? I don't know. I mean, obviously, I know why. But, like,
you did a shock face to, like, be like, oh, that's what you're going to post is I went through the car wash, so I'm going to sarcastically look shocked.
Well, that's the thing. It's so diverse. It's such a diverse and like multifaceted emoji, right? Because it's just like, is it surprise? Is it a mockery of what you're doing? Is it sarcasm? Is it Like, you can't tell because it's over everything.
That is so funny.
Pretty much anything. Now, mind you, I don't use it, but that's the one I use the most. I do the heart, I do the care, I do all that stuff. But if I, for some reason, am scrolling through my timeline, which I do like once every few days, I will mostly put like shock.
I can't believe you use it mockingly. That's so funny.
Well, because there's no sarcastic emoji where like, oh, okay, like, sure,
Oh, I mean, there's just so few.
How do I put, there's only like half dozen.
5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, how do I properly express how much I just hate the thing that you posted?
Oh my
but also not sure that I hate it. Oh, surprise. But that's not the usual. But that's not always the case. But sometimes yes, it is just like.
Now I know what to think when you give me that reaction.
No, but sometimes you'll draw something like really surprising. And I'll be like,
oh, I'm kidding. I know. I won't just assume you're reacting ironically all the time.
No. There's certain people I will act ironically, but for most people it's sincere. I'm very sincere about myself.
That is so funny.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's just a versatile, emoji. It gets the job done. And again, it makes people think, why did they do that? Like, why did they make that? Why is that their reaction to the fact that I ate pancakes today? Like, why is that the reaction? Are they surprised about pancakes?
Oh,
yeah.
And then you want them to like really dig deep and be like, well, if I'm surprised that someone is surprised by this, maybe it means that deep down I know this really isn't all that interesting.
Well, look, I don't post much. You don't post much.
No.
But there are some people who just for the life of them, every 20 minutes need to post something.
Yeah.
There's only so many things I can like. Some of it is just shocking.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Why did you just post that? Can you have an entire romantic communication with your SO? Yes. Sarah has proven this.
No. We do not only talk with emojis. I can't believe that. Yeah. I can't believe it came across that way.
Shock face. It's usually shock face, eggplant, arrow up, arrow down.
I mean, yes, I love emojis.
A squirt water sign.
Not the water squirt. I do love emojis, but don't be thinking that I don't don't use words, because as much as I love emojis, the idea of a relationship that is sustained entirely on emojis is just ridiculous. Like, what kind of people are these people?
Taco eggplant.
Just emojis. That's the whole relationship.
Left emoji, right emoji, left emoji, right emoji.
I mean,
water squirt again.
That's like emoji porn, basically.
Yes, exactly. What other things are you gonna? What other emoji strings are you gonna send to your SO? Right? Like, what else?
I'm trying to imagine like how you could like have complex discussions with just emojis. It would be really confusing.
Like, maybe if you so like say you're about to, it's gonna take you an hour and a half to go drive to your boyfriend's house. So you put a picture of a guy, then a car, then that 100 with the lines underneath it, because that's close enough to 90 minutes. Close enough. It's close enough. You'll be there in the general vicinity of that hour and a half, and then eggplant tacos water splash thing.
Oh my god!
They have a geyser. But anyway.
Well, then she's gonna think, okay, so he thinks if he buys a car, I'm 100% gonna have sex with him. Ugh.
Even other than, yeah. So he interprets it as, oh, I need to buy a car. Not that she's going to be here in an hour and a half. I need to buy a car. We're going to go get eggplant tacos for some reason.
They're going to be so squirty.
We're going to get some wet eggplant tacos. Like, I guess we're going to do that. That's fine. Let's go. Oh, man. It's gonna be the strangest date you've ever been on.
Yes, I hate to say it, right cow, left coast. I just don't think it's possible.
No, I mean there's someone out there who's doing it. I'm certain younger people are doing it. I'm certain younger people.
You think so?
Are able to have. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just emojis? I don't know. I guess Francis has a better imagination than me. I feel like in reality, I don't know how it could last more than like a couple days. On just,
I've seen. Well, that's okay. Well, no, that's true. I can't. I don't think there's full on conversations. but I think that you can communicate in just emojis. At least like
how about like 90% emojis? 90% emojis. 90%. I could see that maybe happening. It would still be, I feel like, a lot of miscommunication.
Yeah, but I mean, they're down with that.
Yeah, they don't care.
The kids are down with the miscommunication. All right. Well, thank you again, Right Left Coast, for your questions. We always love it. Mm-hmm. If you want to send your questions, it's IsThisLovePod@gmail.com, where you too can ask us what emojis we use when we are trying to, I don't know, warn the other. Oh no, when we're trying to ask our significant other if we want to be in an open relationship, where it's two people, a door. I guess that's it because the door is open, and there's like, and then the significant other's like, you want two people to walk through a door? I don't understand. Well,
yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I changed my answer. I think it could be like 60% emojis max. That just is too. That's too confusing. Even if you put a question mark and like, yeah, you need more words than that to express in a relationship.
Oh my God, never mind. I was going to say something terrible, but I won't. We have one article we'll go through fairly quickly because, yeah, we're going to go long tonight. But you know what? I've given up on trying to make this show short. We have so much to talk about when it comes to these topics, and we're having too much fun. And why would I deny us fun? So we're going to wrap it up with an article from The Atlantic. I had to get this article because we did one recently, or I don't know how recently, where there was like, how do you know you're dating your friend or something like that, or getting into a relationship with your friend? And it was like, oh, I don't know, you asked your friend out on a date. And it's like, well, yeah, then I guess I am going out with my friend. Like,
yeah.
How much when your tongue is down their throat, then you know that you're dating your friend. It's like, oh, all right. I guess those are a little on the nose. So, but this one is the case for dating a friend from The Atlantic. Now, I am a person who actually believes that a lot of good relationships can come from friendships, because you already know the person. Why you don't move into the romantic thing, it could be for whatever reason, right? Like some people just don't get romantically involved because maybe they're, I don't know, maybe because it was just something that they thought would ruin the friendship, or maybe they thought that it would complicate things to the point where it might not be feasible or something. But sometimes people want to just take the leap. Some people just want to jump into a relationship. Now, you read this article.
Yeah.
What are they trying to tell us? What is this? What is Joe Pinsker's? What's guy? Oh, that's surprising.
That is surprising. I thought it was a woman when I read it. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a guy. What do you think is, or what was their argument, I guess, for the most part, for dating a friend?
Well, essentially, he was saying that, yes, there is a risk, but you should just take it because you already have this base of knowing them and having comfort with them. And when you're out there trying to date, you're trying to build that with someone brand new. So, why not just take the plunge? I do think it's good to note that this is from his perspective as someone who it worked out for. So he's in a very rosy, point of view here, saying like, come on, it could totally work. And it could. It definitely could work. I think some people pretty, I've known people who have said that they would prefer to meet someone romantically who they're already friends with, and they prefer to start a relationship that way. But a lot of people are scared of that because of the risk of ruining the friendship.
Yeah.
And it does work out sometimes, like it did for this guy, but that doesn't mean the risk isn't there. Personally, I've never tried it. I've never really been tempted to try it. I think that I have a feeling that if it didn't work out, I don't know, probably a lot of the times if you mutually decide it's not going to work that way, then eventually you could go back to being friends. Mm-hmm. But if one person has stronger feelings than the other, then yeah, you could lose the friendship. So
I think it's easier to revert back to friends rather than like dating someone brand new and then like, well, let's just be friends. It's like that's a little harder because you didn't have that foundation to begin with.
Yeah, I don't think that usually works out for a lot of people. I do know people who do stay friends with their exes, which is totally fine. I just think for the majority of people, yeah, if you want to have a friendship with your ex, it's much more likely to happen if you were friends first.
Now, one of the he puts in a study too, which I think is a good argument, sort of, for the whole friends to relationships. Because we were talking about earlier, one of the very first questions was like, how do I get that self-confidence to be more attractive, to be all these things? And he says, in a 2015 study, it found that couples who were friends before dating differed more in their levels of physical attractiveness than couples who weren't. In other words, they found each other more attractive physically because of their knowledge of their inner beauty, and that reflected in their outer beauty. And therefore, they found that person more attractive versus people who were strangers and had to rely on that attractiveness based off of like, well, first glance, like, oh, do I find this person attractive?
Definitely.
And I think that's a good thing. Like, sure. Like, personally for me, I think that this is definitely a good way to go. I know that it is that risk. That's only if you're willing to take the risk, though, obviously. Mm-hmm. Right? Because with high risk comes high reward. Now, when in high school, one of the first people I kind of fell in love with was one of my friends. We were friends, and she was aggressive. Not aggressive in the sense of like, she was like, okay, so here I am, freshman in high school. I think we started talking sophomore in high school. And so here I am, sophomore in high school. Here's this girl, me in the class. Like, I don't know, we just get paired up and we start talking to each other. Mm-hmm. And it blossoms into like, we wrote letters to each other every day.
Aww.
Yeah, like that, right? Like that. Like it was that kind of friendship where we're just like every day, like here's a new letter, And I learned how to fold those really stupid cube things, whatever, for the letters and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so dumb, but I'm going to do it anyway. Which is probably why I didn't do too well in school, because I was too busy writing her a letter versus like paying attention in class. Like, yeah, I'm writing notes. Yeah, teacher, I'm writing notes. Yeah. No, really, I'm just trying to tell this girl that like, oh, we had fun doing this thing or whatever. And I started off very friendly. And as I got to know her more, maybe it took another year. But after like my junior year, I'm like, oh, geez, I really like this girl. Like, oh my goodness. And I let her know. Like, oh, I let her know. And she was very nice about it. She's like, yeah, but one thing or another. She came from a very strict family or whatever. She's like, yeah, I can't like date anybody or anything.
Aww.
My parents won't allow that to happen.
Yeah.
So let's just stay friends. And I'm like, I mean, it could have been worse. Like, I could have not had you have a friend, so we'll be friends. And so our friendship continued up until college and whatever. I mean, that whole time, like, I could have easily gone back to, like, let's make this into a relationship because we were really compatible. I thought we really worked as friends and would have really worked as a couple. But it just never happened. And then I found other people and I moved on with life. But the worst part, of course, is that there was a point, and I hate her for this to this day, but she did tell me at some point, like, yeah, I would have done it. Like, I just, I didn't, as it says in this article, she didn't want to ruin the friendship, but she totally wanted it. She wanted it as much as I did, but she was afraid of what would happen. And I'm like, it would have been awesome. Like, what are you talking about? It would have been amazing.
We would have 20 kids by now.
Yeah, like, we obviously, like, are so, like, we really work together. We both had kind of the same sensibilities and same level of intelligence, everything. Like, I really felt we were very compatible even at that young age.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing ever happened from it. So there's a risk both ways, right? Like, the potential for a budding, wonderful relationship, potentially, right? Or maybe, again, potentially losing a friendship if it doesn't work out. So.
Yeah.
So I hope your relationship with your boyfriend now lasts forever. You get married, have 20 million kids, all that stuff. But I hope you and him repopulate the earth if she ever happens.
Yeah, that's sounding like the kind of litter we're gonna have there. Earth repopulating amount of children.
I'm just saying, but
we might be one and done, so let's not jump the gun. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea, but probably not like 10. Like, we're not really like kind of people who are like, we need to fill a big house to the brim with children.
Yeah, maybe the next John and Kate plus 8.
Probably not. Probably not, especially since then it was just Kate plus 8.
Or the Duggars, or just,
oh God, no,
kids or something like that.
Oh no, never.
But I'm just saying, in the far future, if things don't work out, you should try it. Go find a random friend of yours and just go date.
Go find a random friend.
Yeah, just a random one. Anyway, just put a name on a dartboard and just throw a dart and see what it lands on. They're like, all right, I guess I'm gonna have to date him now. But yeah,
I will say I've thought before, like, when I was single, if it would be better to date someone that I had known for many years, like a guy friend that I had known for many years. And I thought that would be really awesome if it seemed like it would work that way. But I just feel like then when I thought about my friends that I'd known for many years, I just thought we're much better as friends,
It's like, I find none of them attractive.
It's not even that.
They're all so ugly.
No, it's not even that. Like, I have attractive friends, but, I think most of my friends are attractive. Not to say that I can't be friends with unattractive people. That's not it at all. Maybe it's just...
No. Oh, no, let's not go down this rabbit hole. All right, let's just stick with the original premise.
Okay.
Yeah, look, I appreciate that too. I mean, I understand. Like, I have a limited, one of my friends actually, we made a bet, or not a bet, but we made a deal that if we didn't get into a relationship after a certain age, that we would just marry each other.
Oh.
And we just get married. Because it's like, we like each other, we're good friends. And we're just like, let's just, we're going to pull a Friends, right? Or like, because that's what they did in Friends, right? They were like, if we don't get married, or somebody had that in Friends, like if they don't get married at a certain age, they would get married to each other, I think.
Well, they also had it in Seinfeld, I think.
Oh, it was maybe Seinfeld.
I think Kramer said to Elaine, he was like, by the time we're both like 30, do you want to get married? She was like, make it 50.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was an option that I made with a friend though, whom I'm like, yeah, that would be cool. Like, I wouldn't be mad to be in a relationship with this person. Like, she's a cool person, but I'm like, yeah. I mean, we're more friends than anything else, so maybe it'd be a really friendly, like, friendship.
Marriage?
Marriage. Yeah, because, like, we're just, like, more palsy than we are, like, romantically interested in each other, but you never, some relationships like that can work.
Do you think so? Do you think anyone's ever done that, like, for real? Like, we reach this age and we still don't romantically love each other, but let's get married?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
100%. I believe that. Yeah. Because I think that's, I think that's something that you can make work. Like, I think that's something that you can build off of. Even though, because with friendship, obviously there's some attraction, right? It may not be the intense, passionate, like whatever attraction that you would for someone who you were all romantically feeling for, but, you felt enough attraction to be like, yeah, and not just physically, just like overall, that you could be their friend for X number of years and still have a good, strong relationship. So I could see that totally happening. Yeah. As they say in, no, that's not what they say. I was going to say in Aladdin, but no, that's a jump. Let's take one jump, not one leap. Take a leap, take a quantum leap, and find yourself in the body of another person and say, oh boy, and be Scott Bakula for like a day. Anyway, for anyone who's ever watched Quantum Leap. All right. Anyway, there you go. Thanks everyone for listening, for enduring our giggle fest. As we
oh my gosh, yeah.
as we continue to laugh about everything. But that shows that we're having a good time, and hopefully you did too. If you did, you know what? If you don't have any questions and you just want to say, man, I had a good time with that episode. That was really fun. I love your really scratchy, sick voice, Francis. Have more of that. Oh, and your creepy 90-year-old man voice. Do that more. And I'm like, oh.
That is a really funny voice.
So if you're interested, IsThisLovePod@gmail.com. Or maybe you want to hit us up on the socials. IsThisLovePod on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook even. Look that up. We're there. We got a few more people liking our page. Love it. Let's grow that number. I'll be sharing more articles soon on that page and sharing more of our fun insights and maybe some personal posts now. I probably should stop just retweeting and put personal stuff in there too and just talk about regular things. So to make it more, interactive. And lastly, of course, look, you have a Patreon. Who cares? Don't worry about that. That's not important. What is important is that you go, wipe the drool off your face and go to your podcatcher of choice, whatever it is that you used to listen to us. Spotify. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, Audible. Even apparently, we're on Audible.
Oh wow!
I guess it's part of Amazon Music. Yeah. Google Play. We're on all these things. Go onto those things and be like, all right, I'm going to put a 5-star review. Look how these guys are amazing. They smell like cotton candy. I wish we had more of it. Stuff like that.
Have we gotten that review?
I don't know. I'm going to check right now, actually.
I would love that review.
No, not yet. But if we get that review, we're going to talk about it on the show. We want to hear about it. Tell us that we smell like cotton candy, that we taste like a double mint bubble gum or chewing gum, not bubble gum because that wasn't bubble gum, but or maybe some Hubba Bubba. You love that our flavor lasts for about 30 seconds and then is gone forever. Whatever it is, leave that review because guess what? It just tells the world that we exist and it shares us with the world. And don't you want to share us with the world? You're listening right now. You like what we're doing. You want to share that with others because you know what? Sharing is caring.
Yeah.
I heard that somewhere. It was very prolific. I know I heard it somewhere. and plus again, you can hear us laugh for an hour and a half. So make that happen. One of these days, we're just going to have an episode where we just laugh from beginning to end, and we never say anything. And we're like, and that's the show. Let's see Sarah making show art for that one. Oh yeah, it's just us laughing for a million. Someone made a suggestion actually, and I'm gonna do it on air, of doing plushes of the hearts as like a cool little thing to like.
Oh my gosh! Do I have to get a sewing machine?
No. I would have a service do it. I would just have them do it off of your art.
Oh, I could, yeah. I mean, we could like make a pattern or like a little design that you send to somebody and they make it, right? Yeah, that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, and then maybe even turn it into like a little giveaway on here for people sending questions. We'll randomly pick someone from who sends questions in, and they get a little plushie heart.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Or green, I guess, because now there's a green heart,
Oh, yeah,
so
he's like the other one.
The other one, the open relationship one. But anyway, just an idea we're throwing out there. So, like the jingles, hopefully to be here soon. Unlike other podcasts, these are promises I will keep. I'll make them happen. I just need some time. And I think at some episode, I will kind of tell you why I'm having a little bit of a hard time doing some of these things lately. Maybe in the next one, just so you guys can know what's happening in my world. Just be like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Take your time, Francis. We realize why it's taking a little bit of time. So, but yeah, I'll let you guys in next time. But anyway, until then, have yourself a good time. Love your
emojis.
Sweet. Love your emojis and love them sweet thighs.
What?
No. Don't let them crush your head. Is all I'm saying. When you're down there, and we'll talk to you all next time. Bye, everyone.